Hi everybody, this is Sam Miller, your 2020 Phoenix Realtors President, and I'm talking here today with Jefri Wosachlo from Suburban Mortgage. Jefri, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we want to hear today, our business has gone through just enormous changes. People talk about this all the time, but change is something that we're all used to, just not necessarily in such a dramatic fashion. So what can you tell us about what's going on in the mortgage world, or what isn't going on in the mortgage world? What's happening?
Well, what isn't going on in the mortgage world is that we're not slow. We are having record-breaking months. The last 3 months through the crisis, we're breaking records of our sales goals for the last 10 years. And I'm sure we're not the only banker in town that's experiencing that.
And what's driving this record? I mean, did you see?
Well, of course, we have this refi boom that's crazy going on when you can get 15-year mortgages at, almost 2.5. So that's part of it. We've got a huge refi boom, and because we're in Arizona, our purchase contracts haven't slowed down, as you guys know. We're on fire. Things are not slowing down here in the Valley.
Well, that's tremendous. Are there there's some new products, some new things that buyers and sellers need to be aware of, things that they used to be able to do they can't, or things that they can do that they can't do anymore, or the other way around? I think I said the same thing twice. Yeah,
there is and there isn't. So it depends on where you need to buy and what your personal situation is. We've lost our footing in the jumbo market because a lot of those players, anything over 500,000, their money's coming from Wall Street, right? So we've lost a lot of jumbo programs. We've got some, of course, but the rates are not very pretty, but we can still do them. So that's changed a little bit. Where we're seeing some transition is our non-QM. We've lost a lot of those non-QM products because, again, that money comes from Wall Street. Number two, they're riskier loans, so the banks have just stopped doing them. We're getting a few of those back. But our normal business with FHA, VA, and conventional, we've had some overlays change, but the guidelines directly with Fannie and Freddie really haven't changed. Okay.
Jefri, I didn't interrupt you, but what's QM for those of us that don't know?
Non-QM would be a non-qualified mortgage. So when TRID and the CFP came, or when TRID happened a few years ago, they came out with qualified mortgages. So we have to prove that you can pay those back, right? And the non-QM would be sort of like our old subprime loans, the Alt-A product, not necessarily bad credit, but maybe a self-employed borrower who has really lousy tax returns that could qualify using a bank statement program. That would be a QM loan or a non-QM loan.
Are there certain professions that are being more heavily scrutinized, or how are you checking employment? There's a lot of unemployment, so how's that changing?
We are. So if we're in the middle of a loan and we're doing our last verification of employment, because they're saying that we have to verify the loan now, employment right before we fund. So that would be the same day of. So we have had some instances where somebody has been furloughed or let go, and obviously we can't do those loans. We can't close them if there's no employment, right?
Right, that makes sense.
And we're seeing a little bit of issues with forbearances, people that have actually called their servicer to inquire about a forbearance, and the servicers are putting them in forbearance just for inquiring. So we're seeing some issues with that. And if those things happen, we're having a hard time funding those loans. But that's really the only thing. We're not seeing loans falling out of escrow due to appraisals right now, or home inspections, or any of those things. Those are, sailing right along.
So if people were thinking about being qualified or looking at houses in February, decided to take some time off, the world hasn't really changed that much. The interest rates are lower as long as they're still gainfully employed. they should have no problem being able to get the Prequal from you and have me or whoever have a realtor help them find the property.
Exactly, Sam. No, rates are so much better than they were. What they did for a while is they artificially increased some interest rates to slow down the market because we were so flooded with refinances. In a $15 trillion mortgage market, we had about 5 trillion loans in the United States in a refi pipeline. So there were artificially increased rates to slow down business a little bit, but pretty much all of that is back in line now and we're full bore on.
And from the mortgage industry, from your viewpoint, are you concerned about default or default rates, or do you have any access to that, or what are your thoughts?
Yes, we do have access to that. And where we have seen a little bit of problems are in the lower FICO FHA loans. So those rates have increased substantially because, you know, they're trying to slack off that business. If you've got a 580 FICO and you're going into an FHA loan, chances are you have to put down 10%. Okay. So that's going to help a little bit, but where we've seen any forbearance or any early payment, first payment defaults or things like that have been on our lower FHA loan, FICO score loans. But pretty much where everybody's doing really good.
Well, that's great.
You know,
we always advise clients the first step in the home process is to consult their lender and get a pre-qual. And what's the first thing that you tell that client when they call you? What do they need to bring to the table?
They need to bring to the table, hopefully, a little bit of money.
Right. Well,
and a job. I mean, we still have down payment assistance, and we've got some great rates on down payment assistance. In fact, Home Plus has 22 different down payment assistance programs within their range. That's not including Home in 5. So we don't even need a lot of money. We just want them to bring themselves to the door and become a homeowner.
Well, we had heard, or many realtors had heard, that down payment assistance had disappeared. So it's very good to know that it's still out there, and we'd certainly heard anecdotally that if you had called and asked about forbearance, that's a problem, but you're telling us that can be worked around as well.
Well, yes. So with the down payment assistance, some of our competition has backed out of that because they're not as profitable and they want to focus on loans that might be a little bit more, you know, bring them a little bit more money. But at Suburban, we believe everybody has the right to home ownership as long as you can qualify. So why limit that? We're not going to limit that. Yeah, we don't make as much money on that, but it's not always about making the money on that. It's what are we in this world in our jobs for? We're here to sell houses. We're here to close loans. We're here to help the American dream come true, right?
Well, that's who we are as realtors, and Phoenix Realtors really appreciates the support. Yeah. We really do appreciate that support that Suburban gives and that you give. And the information here today has been tremendous because we want to make sure that our agents know that they have resources available for their clients. And we certainly want our clients to know that they have resources available to them. And having somebody like you on board is tremendous. So we really appreciate it. And I want to thank you again for having a little chat.
Oh, you're so welcome. And, you know, Suburban loves Phoenix Realtors. We'll do whatever we can to help you guys. We're one of your big supporters. And if you know anybody that needs down payment assistance or something else, please send them my way and I can hook them up with one of our loan officers. You know, we've got long-standing loan officers that are 30 years plus in the business. So very good company.
Terrific. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course. Thank you.